All right, so this is Nasty Neal here at the station of decapitation without your head, and I'm joined by DW Medoff, director of Your Host. It's cool to have you here.
Thanks, man. It's cool to be here.
Your Host is really fun, and I can imagine this is going to be a great time to watch with an audience.
I hope so. I hope people go in, ride the roller coaster, and just have a good time.
So give people an idea of what Your Host is about if they're not aware yet.
Sure. It's about four kids who get trapped by a serial killer game show host and pretty much have to play to survive.
So, do you know what the inspiration for the story was?
I didn't write a cool writer named Joey Miller did, and I don't know what his original inspiration for it was, but when I read it, what inspired me was it's kind of a story. I mean, I know the game show seems like what it's centered around, but to me, there's more to the characters than just what meets the eye. There's a lot in their relationships that I think is what really drives the story, and then there's the parallel of them having to compete against each other to survive.
Yeah, no, 100%. Did you know Joey Miller before? I
No,
saw it's his first feature that he wrote, and it's been made anyway.
yeah, I mean, as a person I've been writing for a long time. To see that was his first feature, I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be a titan. If this is his first, let's see what his second, and third are gonna be like.
Yeah.
So, no, I didn't. I knew the producers a little bit, and they reached out to me. They were like, "Hey, can you read the script?" I gave it a read, and I was like, "It's really cool." We talked for a couple weeks, and then they were just like, "Hey, we want you to direct it." And I was like, "Love to."
So the first I'd say the first kill, the first on-screen kill is like amazing. I have to say. So, what was that like to film? How long does it take to film like this really in-depth kill scene?
Well, I'm glad you liked it. It was
Uh-huh.
definitely a labor of love. How long does it take? I don't know, man. It takes a while because the actual filming of it goes by like that. All
Yeah.
you do all this prep work. You have people like building stuff, getting ready for it. You have days of people building things, making things perfect, and then on the day it's you shoot it and it happens, and that's it, and it's done forever. And I will say this: I have one of the dummies that we used as a permanent fixture in my garage forevermore. I love my little horror trophies, and that's one of them.
Nice. So getting Jackie Earle Haley involved to play the host. He's just he's a great actor anyway, but he really embraces the role, and I could tell like he really put his all into it, and he's perfect for it.
He is. I remember just while we were like shooting, it was one of his first days on set, and I remember he just did something that made him really own the character. And like I was watching on monitor when it happened, and I was like, oh well, we have a movie. This is a movie. No matter what, we have that moment. Now we have a movie. And then he just, I told him that, and then we just kept expanding off there because sometimes things happen. I wasn't expecting it, and when it happened, it was just the way he delivered a line. Something that you could read on the page and see like, oh, okay, that's the moment. That's what's going to happen. But when it came out of his mouth with his actions and mannerisms, I was like, oh, okay, well, we're good. We're gonna we're
Yeah.
gonna have a movie
Did that change did that change the movie at all? Just once you see him like in the character?
for sure. Yeah, because you have a guy like Jackie who's been acting his whole life, who has directed, who has produced. I mean, this guy is knows his way around the set as good as anybody, maybe better. And to collaborate with him was incredible because he brought a lot of his own ideas, and we had this shared vision of what we wanted it to be, how we wanted the character to be. And once we said this is what we want, you just kind of let him loose, and that's how magic happens. You can't. I don't think you can get that out of anyone. It's just they bring it or they didn't bring it. And he is a guy who very much invented what to bring. And it was amazing to be in the room and watch him do it.
Yeah, and it brings a lot of humanity to the villain role, which is in the script too. But he really brings it out, brings it to life.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, he did a great job.
I like villains that either like in their own mind they're doing what's right, or they have a reason for what they're doing.
So do I. I think I can't speak to other movies, but to things in this movie, he certainly is in his own mind about it. I remember watching a really good breakdown. Is this YouTube channel called Letters from the Screenplay, where they break down the Dark Knight with the Joker and Batman, and how they both think that they're in the right, and how they both want the same thing. They both are fighting. I think I'm quoting it, is for the soul of Gotham.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what these people are. They're not just fighting for their lives, they're also fighting for, I don't want to, without saying too much about the movie, they're fighting for their own vindication. They all want to be, none of them want to be in the moral wrong for what has transpired.
Mm-hmm.
So even when it comes to killing your own friends, killing other people, doing the wrong thing to people, no one wants to be in the wrong, and they're all fighting to be correct, to be right, to be just. And that's what I liked about the characters.
The actual look, like the mask and stuff, is that like, was that in the script exactly what he's going to look like? Is that like something you come up with, once you're starting putting the movie together?
That was when we started putting the movie together. It took a lot of at bats before we figured out what it should look like. A lot of like crude drawings, a lot of conversations, a lot of working with our wardrobe, our costume designer, just the mask makers. I mean, we just talked about it so much, and like every detail of it is really hammered out. Like the reason, even if it's not in the story, the script, or the movie, there's a logic for us for why his suit is so pristine. And maybe someday we'll get to find out why. And there's a reason for the way his mask is cracked. And if you really see it closely, it's got this like scratching on it, like old ceramic or porcelain. We spent a lot of time thinking about why it would be that way. And so I think when it's on him, when I think it really helped bring Jackie to life, to be part of that process of designing it, thinking about it, and then having someone fabricate it and then use it.
Yeah, it looks sweet. I love the half mask, kind of, it's kind of a classic horror, kind of like Phantom of the Opera in a way, and it really, I don't know. And plus the half mask, you can also see Jackie at the same time, so you're getting both the mask and like his like facials, in the performance.
Yeah, I mean, that was important too, because I wanted to make sure that we got the most out of him as an actor, because he's incredible. But also, I'm so glad you mentioned Phantom of the Opera, who is a villain who's got his own sob story in a sense. He's not just a monster killing people. He's got a softer side that he's.
Yeah, I think all the Universal monsters are very like sympathetic or empathetic.
Yeah, I think the best ones definitely have something that you can identify with, or sympathize, empathize in some way.
Yeah. So I assume you're a horror movie fan.
I'm a fan of movies in general. I mean,
I am too, even though this is a horror movie show. But I just love movies in general as well.
Yeah, I mean, I do love horror movies. I love this story. My dad used to take me to the movies every like week when I was a kid. So me and him would go. It was an AMC theater, 24 theaters. It was awesome. We would go every week. It was one of the, even before that one, that was like the first that had that stadium seating. We used to go to one that was like the old school flat one. I mean, so we would go ever since I was a kid. And biggest first memory of a movie. I mean, sure, there's a bunch, but the one that sticks out is Event Horizon.
Oh
And
wow,
I was way too young to
interesting.
see Event Horizon.
Yeah, I can see
Uh,
some similarities in Event Horizon too. Then, just with the facial scar. Not to give anything away, but yeah.
oh yeah, I to this day love Event Horizon. And gosh, I mean, I remember he took me to see Sphere on the. He gave me an opportunity. I don't know if you remember this. On the same weekend, Blair Witch and Sixth Sense came out,
Oh wow.
and I'm a Philly native. I'm a huge Shyamalan fan. You know, back then though, I didn't. You know, I was too young to know the difference for those two movies. I just knew the marketing of Blair Witch was what I wanted. So we
Mhm.
went to see Blair Witch. I loved it. It was, you know, I don't want to say it changed movies for me because I was still too young to know what movies had to be, but you know, come to this age now, I know that was a game changer movie.
Oh yeah.
My dad hated it. We walked out of the theater, my dad was pissed. He
Well, I
hated
really
it.
think it is a movie you either you're really into or you really hate. I know they say that about a lot of things, but I think that's really one that's definitely that way.
For sure. So my dad being, a more classical movie guy, spaghetti westerns. I mean, again, everything. But him seeing Blair Witch was it felt like he was a victim of a crime, and he's like, "We're going to see Sixth Sense tomorrow," and then the next day he took me to see Sixth Sense, and another game changer of a movie that
Yeah.
at the time I had no idea would be a game changer. It's just, oh man, I got to watch two very different, incredible horror movies this weekend. And I
Mhm.
was just a kid, and yeah, I love movies. I love going to movies. I love writing movies, making movies, being on set of other people's movies. I just love movies.
I always wonder, for people who weren't like either a kid or if you weren't around when Blair Witch actually came out, I don't know how if the movie works. I don't know. Maybe it still does, but because I think a big part of it was the marketing of the time because like the internet was big enough that you knew about it, but it wasn't too big where everyone knew it wasn't real. I think if it came out today, everyone would know it's not real. It'd be talked about. So it's kind of like the perfect time, and there was like this weird like, is this just like a real thing someone filmed? What was going on? And then after that, so many people like copied it. So if like you've seen like all the copies of it, but then watched it for the first time now, I don't know how you feel about it. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean because like I don't know if you're big into like music. I don't know if you have to be, but like the Beatles, right? I think
Right, right.
you give a kid the Beatles now. I mean, even in my generation, if you gave me the Beatles, I did happen to love the Beatles when I was young,
Hmm.
but you listen to the Beatles, you're like, oh man, well this is just crappy
Yeah, everyone else
recording of
sounds.
a
Yeah.
yeah, like so how do you compare that? Same thing with like Pink Floyd, even just so many different things. Like I'm not saying I grew up not really loving certain older movies that other people and other older generations would be like, well, these are classics. How could you not love this? It's like, well, I don't know, man. It's not in color. So
Uh-huh.
and I apologize to everyone. I'm not a film snob, and I have nothing against black and white movies. But like as a 10-year-old, that might have been something. Like I don't think I appreciated a black and white movie as a kid until Sin City came out. I don't
I'm a
know.
Houston City fan, but that
There's a
that made me go buy the graphic novels and get into graphic novels. I was like, damn, this is wild.
That's awesome. I've
Yeah.
never really been a deep comic graphic novel guy. My brother was. He used to like sell comics in the mall. So
Oh yeah,
just
my brother grew up. He's 9 years older, but huge comic book fan. So he would go and get his monthly comic books all the time. So I would read a little bit of them, but the graphic, I don't do a lot of graphic novels now. But there was for a little while I was into them because of Sin City.
that's awesome. I mean, when things are gateways to other things,
Yeah.
that's like the biggest compliment you could ever give someone is like, I watched this and you turned me on to that, or I watched this and I learned that, or I did this and stopped doing something. I don't know. I think that's the biggest compliment you
I
can
don't
get
think
as a
that movie
creator.
gets enough credit for one of the best comic book movies. Like it doesn't get mentioned as much as it should be. It's usually like the more traditional comic book movies, but
Maybe that's because it's not like a widely known,
Yeah,
like you
they
said,
might.
graphic
People see it,
novel.
might not even know it is a comic book. That's true.
All right, I'm gonna throw a wild card as my favorite comic book movie. Spawn, Todd
Hmm.
McFarlane's Spawn. I
All right.
love that movie. That was another one my dad took me to the theaters, and I shouldn't have. But man, John Leguizamo,
Yeah, it's clown. Yeah.
so fun.
Oop, sorry, my phone was ringing. It's very
Oh, you're good.
unprofessional of me of the host to have the phone on. But the but Spawn. Did you ever see the series on HBO?
I did. It was a
Really
long.
underrated, I think.
I feel like that's not something I've revisited.
Uh-huh.
Do you know if Todd McFarlane did that too? Like I
I'm
don't know if he
pretty
did the
sure. Yeah,
movie.
I think he's pretty it I think the problem is it doesn't really have an ending. So it's like,
Ah,
you know what I mean? I think it was just the one season. It doesn't really finish. So it's hard to like any show that I know doesn't really have an ending. It's hard for me to go and watch it. I'm like, well, I don't really want to watch something that doesn't, it gets canceled halfway between, before it actually is an ending.
what's now you're on the hot seat. What's the most recent thing you saw that you really liked?
I saw it Together last weekend. I really liked that. Um,
I haven't
it
gotten to
was
see that one yet. It's on my
yeah,
list.
it was still playing at the theater, and I was like, oh, cool. I haven't seen it yet. I was only playing one more, like one showing, and I thought that was really cool. And I've been seeing a lot of good stuff for the Fright Fest. Honestly, your host, not because you're here, but I was like, this is really cool.
Awesome.
Redux is playing at the at Fright Fest. I thought that was really cool.
Have you got to check out my good friend's movie Hold the Fort? Another Atlantic
No,
filmmaker. Dude, check out Hold the Fort. It is a good time. It is
I'm
a
gonna write this down.
fun one. It's it's about like a HOA and these people just move in, but like they have to literally hold the fort as these demons attack, and it's super fun. It's got into all like the big genre fests, and I'm just so the director's name's William Bagley. Some of my friends are acting in it. It's just I'm so happy for them, and it's crushing. So if you get a chance, check out Hold the Fort.
Yeah, okay. I just looked up. All right, yeah. All right. I will definitely see if I could check this out. Maybe I'll get him on the show too.
Oh, I'm sure I'd be happy to connect you guys.
All right, yeah, cool.
Um,
But
I
that's
saw
what's always
your
fun about. Go on, sir.
I was gonna say I saw your interview with I'm gonna mispronounce her last. I'm not even gonna guess her last name, but her first name's Callie, the mom from Weapons.
Oh yeah, yeah,
God, I thought Weapons was really good.
yeah. And that's really killing it at the theaters. Like it was #1 movie, I think, 2 weeks in a row.
It was packed when I saw it. It was a packed theater, and man, this has been a good summer of movies. I also saw Naked Gun. Naked Gun was so fun.
I haven't seen it yet, and I do the AMC Club. I think I brought it up many
Yeah,
times in that interview actually, and I just couldn't. I was actually going to see it this weekend when I went to see movies, but I couldn't work it out schedule wise to see it.
it's super fun, and they filmed a lot of it in Atlanta. Same thing with Weapons. They filmed a lot of that in Atlanta, where I'm primarily work. And when watching Naked Gun, I was like, oh my god, I filmed so many things in this location. And then when I was watching Weapons, I was like, oh my god, that's right around the corner from me, or oh my god, I filmed there before. So it's like fun to watch movies in Atlanta. And then sorry, my dog's screaming.
That's all right.
Shush, buddy. And yeah, I go with my friends who are also in film, and like they'll be like, "Oh my god, I know that stunt guy," or "I know this person catering," and it's just really cool to see when films are made in Atlanta, just to like be able to see our friends in the credits. It's an awesome feeling. Like I said,
Yeah,
we all just love being part of movies. It's just being part of something can be really cool, and if you love movies, like what you're doing is awesome. Just being, anything we can do to be part. Like I've been a script supervisor on stuff. I've carried stuff. I just love being a part.
so have you been to Fright Fest before?
My last movie was in Fright Fest. I I think that was last year, but no, I didn't get a chance to go because I was. Yeah, it must have been last year because I was doing prep for this film. So I was doing prep for your host when my last movie was in Frightfest. That movie is called I Will Never Leave You Alone. So that was in last year.
All right. So what was
Sadly, I
that
couldn't go.
experience like being at Fright Fest and having you film at Fright Fest?
Oh, I didn't get to go last
Oh, you
year.
didn't get. Oh, okay. So you're gonna go
Yeah.
this year though.
Yeah, I'm going this year.
Oh,
I'm really
sweet.
excited to go this year. And we've got, I think, two sold out screenings, which is wild to me. It's so cool.
Yeah, Fright Fest is. I've been to Fright Fest a couple times. Fright Fest is huge. Do you have a lot of experience with festivals themselves? Have you been to other festivals?
I've been to a few. One of my favorites was the Telluride Horror Show.
I've
Ah,
never been to
man,
that one.
it was so cool. I'd never seen the Rocky Mountains before, and I flew into Denver, and it's about a 6-hour drive to Telluride, and it was a beautiful drive. And we get there, and it's pitch black. You can't see the mountains, but I know there's mountains. And I met up with the organizers at this bar, that they were like, yeah, come meet us at the bar. It's cool. All the festival people and filmmakers are just hanging out tonight. So I went there, and stupid me is like, hey, so where are the mountains? They go, well, dude, this is a box canyon, and you're surrounded by mountains. It's just pitch black because it's nighttime.
Uh,
And I say, okay. And we go outside, and the guy's like, you could throw a ball and hit the mountain. It's right there. And I'm looking, and it's just like pitch black. I can't see anything. It's pitch black. So I walk back to my like the Airbnb I was staying at. And mind you, air altitude sickness is real. I didn't think it was going to be real. It is very real. I was walking back like 10, 12 blocks, and I was like, whew, I'm winded. Wake up in the morning, and there's a window, and I woke up, and I was like, oh crap, the mountains are right there, and they're
yeah.
massive, and there's like snow on the tips. It was October. Oh man, it was awesome. Also, the people there are cool. The events are cool. The town is cool. So it's definitely one of those ones I love. I've also been to Austin Film Fest, which was just I mean, that one's massive. And they have buses that take you places and do all sorts of cool stuff. I think they all have their own little charm.
Yeah.
What are some ones that you like?
Well, I really like Boston Underground Film Festival. There's something about I don't want to say a smaller festival. It's not as giant as the other ones, but there's a one screen, so everyone watches all the There's something about that where you're all in the same theater for the whole time watching the same movies on the same screen.
Yeah.
And it's at a really old theater, the Brattle Theater in Cambridge. So there's just something cool about that. Plus, I'm in Massachusetts, so it's not that far from me.
Cool.
But that Scream Fest was a lot of fun. Genre Blast. Genre Blast is a really good one. They took a year off. They just came back. It's also in the mountains of Virginia. And
Cool.
so it's like the flight is like like an hour and a half away, which I was like, is anybody going to be there? Because then you got to drive like up into what seems like the middle of nowhere. But yeah, it was like this weird little hideaway of all these weird, movie fans watching their stuff together. So that's a really good one. And Fright Fest is a really big festival.
Oh, I mean, I love hearing that. Maybe I'll check out Boston sometime. That sounds like a little cult. I love that.
Yeah, and it has a really good community feel because it's like a lot of the same people. Obviously, not. Then there's new people bringing their movie stuff, but there's a lot of the same people that come every year to watch the movies and their shorts play and that's probably my favorite one. Is Boston Underground, and oddly
So
enough, actually, some of the same people run Fright Fest that run Boston Underground.
really, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Evram is connected. If you meet him, you'll probably meet him at Fright Fest.
Sweet. What's his name? Avram.
Evram, yeah.
Evram. Cool. I'll keep
Yeah.
an eye out.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, I just like festivals in general. They are a good time because it's everyone has a common love of these weird horror movies.
That's for sure. Definitely a unique bunch of folks. I love being part of that.
Yeah, and you can hang, and everyone hangs out. Everyone's on the same level. So if you're there to watch movies, if you're a director, if you're an actor, whatever you are, like everyone's on the same level. Just talking about these movies.
It's the one thing that yeah, I mean, it's such a cool chance to just be around like-minded people.
Yeah,
I always
yeah.
say like I love talking horror. I love talking horror. I also love talking Spielberg movies. So
So, well, along those lines, what would the movies that they could be horror, they could be otherwise, that you watch is and like, oh, this is something I would like to do someday.
all right, this is so I started in comedy about like 10 years ago. Like I'd done improv and I started doing sketch comedy and then I started filming sketch comedy, all that stuff. And I think I was ready to go on my own and do horror because the comedy I was doing was really dark. And then I don't know if I think I was kind of already starting to do horror shorts, but then I watched Hill House, the Mike Flanagan show, and I was just like, oh, you can make horror that also breaks hearts in this like really tragic way. And I think that was what I really gravitated towards. I don't think Host really follows that, but that's something that I really am inspired by. And Hereditary came out and did the same thing. Uh, what was there were a couple others around that same time that were just like, by the way, horror movies can really upset you.
Hmm.
Oh, Relic that came out. I don't know if you saw Relic, Babadook. I know a lot of people now are like, oh yeah, that's the genre of grief
Love those
talking.
movies. Babadook's awesome.
Oh no, I mean, I think people at that time love them. People who've seen them love them, but like, I think there's like a maybe like a market saturation or people being tired of seeing like pure I'm haunted by my grief trauma movies, which I still like. I think there's still a big group of people who like those.
Yeah.
Um,
I think there's also a backlash, a little bit of a backlash on what people call elevated horror, which I think the term is bad because it does turn people off. But
yeah, I prefer the word tragic rather than
mhm.
elevated because like yeah, elevated seems so pretentious and posh.
Exactly, yeah.
I feel like it was almost made by people who didn't like that genre,
Yeah, right.
which is fair
Uh-huh.
because I feel like people who don't like slashers will call it like gore porn or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Or, for like Hostel and stuff, it's the torture porn.
Torture porn, that's what they call it. But oh, Hostel was a huge influence. I know people are online being like, "Hey, this looks a lot like Saw or Price is Right," but like, man, one of my bigger influences was Saw. Well, not Saw was one of my bigger influences was Hostel. Watching this because like Hostel, I don't get me wrong. If people want to say this movie is like Saw, I will take that compliment all day because James Wan is a master and Saw was a great movie. I also feel the same way about Hostel. That moment with, if you've seen it, you know the moment. The Achilles tendon gets cut
Uh-huh.
and the body just flips forward. Ah, what a beautiful thing to see. Um, so yeah, Hostel was a big influence for me watching this. I'm a huge Eli Roth fan, Quentin Tarantino fan, and Grindhouse movies they've made. They're just yeah, I think man, I just love movies. There's
Yeah.
something in every genre to like, whether but again, I go back to Spielberg because like I think that's what originally made me love Spielberg and Lucas made me love movies. Um, I watched Star Wars over and over as a kid, all the Indiana Jones movies over and over. My favorite Spielberg movie is his least favorite, Hook. I don't know if you like Hook. A lot of people
I'm
hate
I'm
Hook.
not I'm not a big fan, I have to say, but
It's got a terrible rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and I
yeah.
get it. But I
I will say I've
think
only seen it when it first came out. I've not seen it since, so maybe I would like it now.
so. The first 20 minutes of that movie are borderline a kid's horror movie, but like there's something about that movie. There's also something about owning a VHS tape. Being a
Mhm.
kid and having these certain VHS tapes at your house is like, okay, these are the movies that I watch. And you can go rent one from time to time, but like there's always these movies. And Hook was one of my movies that like I could always turn on and always love. I think when I got older and DVDs came out and I was like, oh, okay, there's even more to watch, but South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut is a huge influence for me.
I'm a big
Um
fan.
SLC Punk was something I loved. Just a ton of like, I don't want to call them like avant-garde. I don't know what to call these, the art house films that, otherwise I might not have seen. Best in Show. I know this isn't something that seems like a
Oh,
horror person should love, but
yeah, no, but I'm a huge fan of the Christopher Guest movies. Best in Show, Waiting for
yeah,
Guffman, yeah,
yeah, man, they're all so good.
Mighty
And
Wind, yeah,
there's a new Spinal Tap coming out. I know it's by
yeah.
Rob Reiner, but I'm still so on board.
Yeah, well, he made the first one, so yeah, I'm really excited. It's got the original guys in it, so yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited too about that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
It's gonna be great. I can't wait. I love those Christopher Guest movies, and I guess Rob Reiner kicked it off with Spinal Tap, and now doing
Mhm.
the next one. But yeah, man, I always wanted to make a movie called Black Friday or oh no, it was gonna be called Doorbusters, and I wanted to film it Christopher Guest style about a bunch of people training for Black Friday, and then the main thing like Best in Show, they all crash a Black Friday. I mean, it's so stupid, but it just seems like it would be so fun to make one of those types of movies.
Yeah, so my feature film, the Once and Future Smash, cheap plug, we bill it as the Spinal Tap of horror because it's a mockumentary about a lot of older horror actors and
Dude, I
filmmakers.
gotta see it.
I will send you the link after the show if you'd like.
Please do.
Or I could send you the limited edition Blu-ray. But you mentioned VHS tape, so I have this up here. It's the Creep Show on VHS in the clamshell because it's the original VHS tape, the first one my mom ever bought me as a kid.
I
And the
love
tape
that.
no longer works, but it means a lot to me because I'm older than you, so it was like I don't know in the mid '80s, and they cost a lot of money. So it wasn't like now you get them for a few bucks. It was she had to pay a lot of money to get a Creep Show for me, and that's something, as you said, I owned it, so I watched it all the time. And,
Dude, I love that. I mean, as also, I don't want to call you a mama's boy. I am definitely a mama's boy. I love my mom
yeah,
to
I grew
death.
up single mom, me and my brother. So.
Okay, cool. And also, you said your brother's 9 years older. My brother's 10 years older, so I get that too. But I have a list on my fridge that my mom sent me after my first movie, and she knew that my dad took me to movies, but she wrote this list of her 10 favorite movies, and most of them were movies that her and I watched together as a
Oh, I
kid.
love that. Yeah.
And oh my God, you've never seen me cry so hard. When she wrote, oh man, when I read Land Before Time on there, gosh, I was bawling. Because I don't see my mom that much because I live in Atlanta and they're in Philly. And oh my God, that letter it meant so much to me. So I totally love that you have that movie, that very specific
Yeah, I grew
movie.
up totally watching. So my brother's 9 years old, like I said. So she would take him to the drive-in when drive-ins were still around, and instead of getting a babysitter, they would just take me along. So I'd be like 4 or 5 watching. What I saw Star Wars very young. I don't know, whatever. The first one I really have a memory of is seeing Night of the Living Dead. As a
Oh,
very little kid.
damn.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I remember I got upset when the truck explodes and like they're eating them. The zombies are eating the people, and my mom turned to me and said, "Oh, don't worry, they're just having a barbecue." And I was like, "Oh, okay," and I was fine.
Just a barbecue. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And she still goes to see her and her like normal friend Linda go to see movies every weekend. And so they see a lot of normal, but they went to see because my mom will pick the movie, and Linda will pick the movie, and my mom took her to see Terrifier 3, and I was like,
Oh
"That's
my
not really
God.
a movie you take like a normal person to."
Oh my God. No, I don't think it is.
She's like, "Oh, it's just about a clown." I'm like, "No, I mean, I guess, but
That's so funny. Yeah, I don't know if that's a if that's one you take the family to see.
no, no, no. I want to get her on the show sometime. I think it'd be a fun get her
Oh
top
yeah,
10 horror movies. Yeah.
that would be awesome. Um, yeah, that would be really cool.
So have your family seen your host?
They saw what we would call the assembly cut, which is
Mm.
like, the very first thing. Because I was home, after Italy, I was just like, I need to take a little break. So I went home for a bit. And, I just showed it to them. I said, what do you guys like? And they're just like, it's too long. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's like 2.5 hours of footage. But then again, my parents are 80, and their opinion on an assembly cut wasn't super valuable. So they haven't seen the final cut yet. But next time I go home, they will, and I'm excited to show it to them because they're just going to be like, "Where did we go wrong raising you?"
So at my movie, I didn't have. It was my first feature film, so I didn't have a lot of experience. And the people I made it with, they made several movies. So when I watched the assembly cut, I was like, "Is this even a movie? Like what?" And they're like, "Don't worry, we're gonna it'll." I was like, oh, "Okay." So as we were editing the movie, and then I got the idea of how it becomes a movie. But when I saw the assembly cut, I was like, I don't know what do we go and do? Like this is
Right.
we've wasted all our time. And yeah.
For any filmmaker watching this, just know the assembly cut is the scariest day of your movie. Watching the assembly cut is the scariest day of making a movie.
So have you seen your host with an audience?
No, I have not.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Not just you're here, but this is a movie I think is going to play really well with an audience.
Yeah, it's got a gross out factor.
Yeah. So
also, if they want to boo me, they can throw tomatoes. I'll be right there.
What's the feeling going in? I mean, obviously excitement and nervous, but what's the feeling going into see the movie at Frightfest?
I'm happy. I'm super happy, man. I try to not have crazy expectations for anything. So everything good, like being here with you is just, it's just a bonus. I try to take every day at a time and try to not worry too much about the future. But, I try to do everything I can while I can, in the present to just do the best I can so that, when I get there and watch the movie with people, all I can hope is that they enjoy it and that the hard work I did along with everyone. I mean, I say my hard work is so many people's hard work, as you know. I hope it is something people enjoy.
I honestly think this has a lot of potential to like maybe get a theatrical release. I think this could be like a pretty big horror movie.
I'd love nothing more than that. I'd also settle for just a bunch of people enjoying it.
Yeah, of course.
And
yeah,
it's I was like trying on shorts the other day, and I was getting everything in the sales section. The guy goes, "Oh, what do you do for a living?" I was like, I'm in the movie business, and eventually people would try to ask what you do, and I was like, well, I direct horror movies. And he goes, "What's that like?" And I was like, just being honest. And he goes, "Yeah," and it's like, it's the best job in the world. And he goes, "Not to me. That sounds terrible." And I was like, oh man, I could never imagine it being anything but the best job in the world. So I'm super grateful every second I get to be writing, editing, on set. I'm just super grateful for every chance I get to even, respond to people on Instagram who say, "Oh man, I watched your movie. It's cool." Or, even read Reddit posts of people being like, "This movie looks like it's garbage." It's still just so cool to be in a conversation like that. And, so the good, the bad, it's all awesome.
You mentioned Instagram. So is that the primary place people could follow you?
Yeah. At DW Medoff for Instagram. That's pretty much the best way to get me.
All right. And any plans to do a sequel?
I have no idea. Talking to the wrong guy. I'm just the guy who hopes everything goes well, and we'll see from there.
Right.
But I hope someone lets me direct another movie. That's all we keep planning for.
I like that. All right. Well, I would love to have you back sometime after the movie plays for a little bit.
I'd love that, man. It's been it's been awesome.
Yeah. So on our regular live Thursday show, my brother's on the show with me and some other people. So yeah, it would be cool to have you back sometime.
Anytime, man. I love this.
So I really loved your host, and I think this is. I hope it does well. I like you a lot. You seem like a good guy. So
I'm not. I'm a bad guy. Ask the actors. I put them through hell.
I'll get the dirt on you for next time. And
sweet. I hope so.
We'll put you in your own game show. Maybe that'll be the big payoff.
That's always up here, man. I'm always putting myself through the ringer. So,
All right.
dude,
All right.
thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
having
you.
me. I
Thanks for doing
appreciate you, and keep doing it, man. I know everyone who gets to be on your show truly supports talking about stuff and loving it. So thank you so much for doing what you do and supporting us.
Thank you. And congratulations on the movie.
Thanks, man. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you. Have a great time at Frightfest.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.